This is the future.
I know what is your first question about this video. Why solo squad leader? You can farm Drifter Intrinsic faster with a team, right? So once you get into the Duviri paradox, your first goal is to finish up the main story quest, which will take about 2 hours or less depending on how efficient you are in speed running each mission. If you just want to enjoy the whole story, then you could make it longer. But, let me ask you this, how do you find the story of Duviri paradox without giving spoilers? For me, it's rather confusing. I found more questions than answers. Typical Warframe story, I guess. After that, most players will then go try out the circuit, and more specifically, the Steel Path version, because of the in-canon Genesis adapter, which involves some of the old weapons to in-canon weapons. But rather than going straight to the circuit, may I suggest one thing? That is doing the Duviri experience first. The normal Duviri experience, that is? What the hell, squad leader? This doesn't give me anything useful, as I got most of the Warframes and vanilla weapons and mods in the game. I just want to farm some in-canon adapters. Well, if you have an arsenal which have all mean max builds, and when I say all, this means from vanilla Warframes to trash weapons in the game, then congratulations, as you can just go in the circuit immediately and farm all those in-canon adapters in the Steel Path version. But for an average Warframe player like me, that just picked those weapons and Warframes that I consider to be not mastery rank fodder, then good luck in having some fun while farming Steel Path circuit. But I can always go with a team. Well, that's the first plan for me, but eventually, after a couple of runs, I decided to play solo. I don't know if I'm the only one experiencing this, and it's just an isolated case, but my first Steel Path circuit run is a total bug frame. After 3 waves, my team can't proceed to the next stage, and eventually, we need to exit and lose all the progress we have. Most of the players I see now are running just 2 stages and exiting the Steel Path circuit to avoid the bug wherein they can't proceed to the next stage. There are also instances in the public queue wherein I have been put into a team that is already at stage 3 of the circuit mission, and I wasn't able to pick any Warframe or weapon from Teshin's cave. I ended up exiting the mission since I was being killed and just moonwalking all over the map. After the circuit runs, I decided to do some Duviri experience. First, in Steel Path levels, and I wasn't even prepared, as I thought that the Duviri experience has no Steel Path version at first. Me and the other guy ended up dying in the Orowyrm boss. At first, I thought that we were dying because we don't have a clue what we are doing, but little did we know that there was also a bug wherein you can't catch up with the Orowyrm as it suddenly speeds up and you can latch to it immediately, and ended up falling from your horse and dying from fall damage. Well, it was also our fault because we did not know what to do to somehow increase our survivability and damage first without even investing in Drifter Intrinsic. In fact, the solo method that I will show you in this video is also applicable in Steel Path levels while playing with a team. Another question that I would like to answer is that why I choose to max out Intrinsic first. Like I have said, I paused from farming in-canon weapons in the Steel Path of circuit mission, as I think it would be much better for me if I maxed out first the opportunity Intrinsic. This Drifter Intrinsic offers more choices, and I can't wait to unlock the Stalker also in this node. While maxing the opportunity Intrinsic and heading out to play circuit was my initial goal, I began to understand how the Drifter Intrinsic does affect most of the missions in the game. Not just circuit, but also the Duviri experience. It's really great that the Drifter Intrinsic gives out power not just to make farming easy but also to make the new missions really fun to play with. Honestly, I was not a big fan of the Drifter open world idea in the Duviri paradox, but after investing some on combat and endurance, I began to see how crazy the power fantasy that the Duviri experience give to players. The power you are given by the degree mechanic is such a good thing for the game, and this is why I end up with a plan to solo farm Intrinsics, as it's also doable, easy, and I don't have to deal with host migration and any matchmaking shenanigans. To help you understand a bit, rank 1 combat offers additional damage per decree, and you can get tons of degree if you want to in the Duviri experience. On the other hand, the endurance degree offers more health per decree gain, and with these 2 decree, I am able to start my intrinsic farming journey easily. So how did I acquire 300 plus Drifter Intrinsic in one go? The Duviri experience will task you to do a 6-stage mission which has the usual missions from the plains of Duviri, and then the Undercroft version wherein you use your Warframe. Now, instead of proceeding directly to the main mission, go roam a bit in the plains of Duviri and do side missions. There are lots of side missions in Duviri, such as freeing a captive, herding some Moroccan goat, killing Thrax units, opening chests, feeding them, or what we often know as fishing in other open world areas, horse racing, and many more. Do this, and finish each mission, and then you will gain a decree per side quest, plus Duviri resources, and then 3 intrinsic rewards. The more side mission you do, the higher the intrinsic goes, and the powerful your drifter gets. But squad leader, is it not boring? I'll be honest with you lads, this kind of farming may take a while, and in fact, I spent about 2 hours doing this because also of a mistake. At 300 plus intrinsic, I decided to do the main mission, but I forgot the spot for the mission. I was also dumb enough to forget that my drifter's second ability has the capability to find the mission objective. I did not use it, and it took me a while to finally get into the stage 1 of the main mission. Probably, it would take lesser time to finish it with 300 plus intrinsic. Once you decide to stop, it's time for the Orowyrm boss fight. Eventually, you can skip the boss fight if you are just farming for intrinsic, as once you press that Leave Duviri button, you will still get all the intrinsic you have earned, but it would be a waste to just throw away all the Duviri resources that you have farmed, don't you think? And by the way, why not do the Orowyrm boss fight when it's super easy to do after finishing up all the side quests? It's like Digital Extremes made a joke out of their mission mechanic. Remember that meme of Thanos when the Scarlet Witch mumbled about taking everything away from her, and then Thanos just replied, "Who the fuck are you?" This was tied to the way we gamers play RPG games, wherein we do the side quests first and get all the experience, skills and weapons, and then just break the boss. The same goes with the Duviri experience. Once you gain tons of decree, you will not just survive, but demolish the Orowyrm boss in one shot. By the way squad leader, what decree should I go first? Well, the ones that can give you bonus damage in your weapon to kill enemies faster. Also, there's a decree that gives you increased movement speed per decree, which is hell of a fun to use. Just know this rule of thumb: if a decree says increase in damage, critical chance, double the damage, twice the hit, or anything that will increase your power, then go with that first. Then, go with those decree that will increase the efficiency of your warframes for both the Undercroft and Orowyrm boss fight. The good news is, the increased damage of perks, like those that increases melee and gun damage, critical, status or any kind of buffs, does carry into your guns and warframes. Just like what you are seeing in your screen, my radial javelin is doing millions of damage to enemies since all that perks I got from my decree were also used in my radial javelin. There's also a perk in the decree system that gives you a 90% chance to disregard energy drain for your warframe, so you can literally spam warframe abilities if you have the max out rank of that rare decree. Once done, all you need to do is fight the Orowyrm boss to finish the whole run. The Orowyrm boss is really easy if you have maxed out decree anyway. All you need to do is after stage 6, go to the location wherein you can locate Tashin's Orvius, then fly with your horse towards the Orowyrm boss. You see those balls that the boss is shooting? Shoot them with your Orvius, and once destroyed they will give you a speed boost. Use that to get close to the Orowyrm, and then on its side, you will see glowing orbs, and all you need to do is throw your Orvius on it to latch into the Orowyrm. Next, climb into its head by simply jumping and then aiming towards the next glowing orb. Be careful with those firings as it will knock you down. After you have reached the head, use transference, and control the Orowyrm. Destroy those 2 pillars and head over to the portal for the next stage. In the next stage, all you need to do is destroy those fire rings of the Orowyrm to destroy its health bar. Then enemies will spawn, kill them all, and destroy the fire rings again. Rinse and repeat the process until the worm will escape and end the mission. If you want to check out a detailed run, then I suggest that you check out my previous video. Long story short, go to Duviri Experience Normal, do some side quest first to gain lots of intrinsic and build up decree before going to the Orowyrm fight. The good thing about this is that you also farm Duviri Paradox resources and other things required for crafting or purchasing items in the new vendor. By the way, you can do the Steel Path version of the Duviri Experience, but I would not suggest it as it would be a terrible choice for new and average players who are not well equipped. In terms of rewards, they almost have the same reward pool, but the Steel Path version has a slightly more rewards. It's not even noticeable how much Intrinsics you have farmed, and the normal version is better in my opinion because of how fast you can do it. So this is my experience also so far from playing Duviri Paradox. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.